off to a pretty good start here, but unfortunately things are going to get a bit tougher now, seeing as Lash is now producing tanks, which is not a good thing for my, at the moment, infantry and recon heavy army. And she's getting more of them. And now it's actually for this reason that I created that artillery. Basically, my response to her starting to produce tanks is spam battlecopters. Pretty effective strategy here, really. But really, with Colin, you need to go for unit advantages. In general, yeah, battlecopters are really, really good against tanks, but... And now I'm starting to take back some of those properties she got. Yeah, like I was saying, in general, you want to go for kind of like, kind of rock, paper, scissors approach with Colin, because, as I've said, his units are not so good one-on-one against their counterparts. So you, again, want to stack the odds in your favour as much as possible. Or just soon, however, I'm going to be able to afford things like medium tanks, and yeah, that's where things get interesting with Colin, because he can afford them long before his opponent will generally be able to. And even with a 10% firepower reduction, a medium tank is still, well, a medium tank. And it'll still completely annihilate regular tanks. Alright, I think it's safe to advance across the river now. Should I capture that, or... No, I've got a 10 HP mech, we'll get it later. And do I go for another battlecopter, or... Yeah, tank. Might as well. Okay, what's she going to do next? Right, well, that may have looked scary, but it's actually far from it. Those two infantry are going to die pretty easily. Just watch out for that mech, though. It's on a city, which means I should probably attack it with a helicopter. Because if I try and attack it with a recon, I'm going to get hit pretty badly. Because of Lash's firepower bombs on terrain, and of course now it's safe to attack with a recon. Or, whoa, or is it? Ah, damn it. Still, I can finish it off easily. And now that city is mine. Probably get attacked by that in the next turn. That transport, and... Okay, there's going to be tanks coming in soon. So I should guard my capturing infantry. Because I want to secure as much stuff as I can, just so I can afford really overpowered stuff. Now that other tank, I think, should be used mainly for defense purposes. Yeah, I think it's about time to get another one. Okay, I'm formed a bit of a wall here. Let's see what the AI does about this. Ah, lucky I took that. Extremely lucky, actually. Okay, now they're pretty much forced to play really defensively, but at least I got this one, and now I own about 70% of the map. And yeah, restricting your opponent's potential territory is pretty effective tactic. I've pretty much done that to Lash right from the beginning here, which basically is forced her to be on the back foot right from the start. And now, I'm going to capture that airport and send aircraft directly downwind to her base, which... So eventually, yeah, soon they'll have nowhere to run. And yes, this is what I made the artillery for earlier, in case they decide to bring out some tanks. So there is another full HP tank that I need to watch out for. Now, very soon, I think, almost not quite, I'll have enough energy for Colin's normal power. And I'm not going to get to the super in this mission. But, well, Colin's super is... Alright, I've got the normal power now. Just checking her power level. And... unlike other commanders, it's generally safe to use Colin's normal power anytime during your turn. Just make sure you use it before you start producing things. Interestingly about Colin, his normal power and super power are both totally different. His normal power, which you'll see me use in a moment, what it does is multiplies your funds by 1.5 times. That doesn't sound like much, but it really is. It's kind of difficult to understand at first, but you'll see why when I use it, why it's actually incredibly powerful when timed right. The main reason it's so good is because it only requires 2 stars to use. And it can actually turn things around quite well. And forming a wall of those monsters. And sort of surrounding their base with kind of pincer-ish. This will probably illustrate one of my earlier points. Actually, that was kind of like the average tank versus tank battle, but still, that's generally the kind of matchup you want to avoid with Colin. And now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for it. Yeah, got quite a lot of money here, so it'd be pretty useful. Right, here we go. Gold Rush! And yeah, my fund just increased by quite a lot. Now, the thing about it is, not only does it increase your funds by 1.5 times, but because any power will always increase offense and defense by 10%, it's just a kind of hidden effect that just always happens. It has the effect of temporarily making his troops average in one turn, which is quite a big benefit for Colin, considering that he'll probably have a lot of stuff by the time you use it. And he'll probably be outnumbering his opponent, and thus suddenly have the advantage because his weakness is pretty much gone. Of course, the main thing about Gold Rush is the fact that basically, getting a lot of infantry surviving with just a sliver of health, but not for long. Die. There we go. But yeah, like you'll probably see, the main thing about Gold Rush is that if you use it, suddenly you'll be able to afford things your opponent probably won't be expecting. Things that you normally have to save up several turns to get, like bombers. Colin will suddenly be able to afford them in one turn when using his normal power. It's actually pretty useful, but it does take... You kind of have to know when to use it. Mainly, you should use it in situations where, yeah, like I said, you'll be able to do something unexpected with the new funds, like get a bomber before your opponent expects it, which is always pretty devastating. now with these copters in base. Uh-oh, yep, no, artillery, bad. Very bad. And yeah, just for kicks, I'm going to kill off this battlecopter. Because I don't like leaving enemy units in my territory. One more shot, come on. And bam! Yeah, down it goes. And yes, as you'll see, I can get bombers now. In fact, yeah, bombers and neo tanks, Colin gets them for only a little bit more than the average medium tank, which is actually one of Colin's main strengths. Particularly, like, you know, like I've said before, a bomber or a neo tank is, yeah, still insanely powerful, even with a 10% attack reduction. Okay, what's she gonna do now? Is she gonna use power, or no? Alright, next part we finish this.